je meegenomen. Dankjewel. Hi. Hi. Oh ja, fijn, dankjewel.
Birthdays are very important to the Dutch, as are birthday presents.
Dankjewel.
Oh yes, don't just congratulate the person whose birthday it is, congratulate everyone.
Dit is Ellie, dat is de buurvrouw.
Don't be surprised if you see a man standing at the cooker with an apron on, because in many families the men and women fulfill the same roles. Dutch people are often very direct.
Meneer, kijk eens. Dit is mijn konijn.
Household pets are part of the family too.
Kom eens. Kom eens. Foto's. Ja, van de vakantie. Vakantiefoto's.
Vakantie, leuk.
People don't make a fuss about nudity. Dutch people like to discuss things in such a way that everyone eventually gets his or her way.
Strakke buik.
Mag ik een compliment geven? Het is gewoon een mooie vrouw.
En ik sta daarnaast met een gebakje en dat pak jij dan af.
Schat, ik vind jou.
So that in the end, everyone goes home contented. It's also a Dutch tradition to be as noisy as possible and to take as long as possible about saying goodbye.
Doei!
Ik ben Irma Hoofling. Wie bent u?
Ik ben Anouk Jeffrey.
Hoe gaat het met u?
Goed, dank u.
Language can embrace what people would rather give no name to.
Taal weet wat
Language knows what we reveal and what we hide away.
Taal spreekt.
Language speaks.
And holds its peace.
Taal leeft.
Language
en
lives.
sterft.
And dies.
Sterft de taal?
When language dies,
Dan sterft de mens.
Mankind dies too.
Yes, blauw.
right. A bicycle accident, which often happens to young people in the Netherlands when a bag gets between the spokes?
Ja.
Yes, that's right.
Leren is goed voor jezelf.
Learning is good for you, but it's also important for children. As a parent, if you show your children that learning is fun and important, you're giving them a good example. Families in the Netherlands are not large. There are also children who live either with their mother or their father. It's almost unheard of nowadays that grandfathers and grandmothers, aunts and uncles live with the family. Ellen, while we're playing this game, can you tell me about the contact with the children? I try to give my children a warm, safe nest. We have lots of fun and we do a lot together as a family. Occasionally we go out on little excursions, go on outings. And beside that, we of course set clear rules and we try to explain why we need to keep to certain agreements in the house. We would never hit the children, but they do have to stick to the rules of the house. How do you see the future for your children? Well, of course, you can never predict anything for sure. I do think they've got good things going for them. If kids come from a good family in which they've been positively stimulated and been able to get a good education, if they've got all that, then they'll be fine, whatever happens.
Gooien. Hey!
Yes.
Of course, it's important that your children feel at home in the new country, and you can do something about this yourself.
Je kunt samen met je kinderen naar
You can watch television programs with your children. That way, it will be easier for both you and your children to learn the language. And you can see that they play with Dutch children. Then they'll learn Dutch even faster. Bringing children up doesn't only have to do with how things are at home, because children go out each day and meet other children. As a parent, you're responsible for what your child does when he's outdoors or at school. As a parent, you can't and shouldn't leave your children's upbringing to the education system. In Dutch schools, the idea is for parents to be actively involved in what their children do at school. They should follow their progress and guide them. Parents go to school to talk to their children's teachers about how they're getting on at school. And many parents help out at the school too, such as Salia.
My
daughter turned 4 and I had to register her. So I did that. But I got sort of butterflies. I thought I want to know what my daughter is getting up to at that school. It made me think back to my own childhood and I thought, of course, I went to school in Morocco, but what's the education like in Holland? I was really curious about it. Because in Morocco, parents don't have to help out at school. It's just not expected of you that you're present at school and taking an interest in the class. You only go to get the report, but not to help out with organizing a party or wrapping presents or doing handicrafts with a little group of children. That was new for me, but great fun too. Then I took a 6-month course to be a teacher assistant, and after that a 2-year course to be an education assistant, and that's what I am today. Here in the Netherlands, children go to school at the age of 4. Education is compulsory. Children between the ages of 5 to 18 have to go to school. From the ages of 4 till 12, children go to basisschool or primary school. After that, it's voortgezet onderwijs, or secondary education. Education for children of school age is practically free, but parents do pay for some extras, such as school trips and parties.
Ook als kinderen nog geen 4 jaar zijn, kunnen ze naar de kinderopvang.
Before the age of 4, children can also go to daycare, like this playgroup here, for instance. This can be especially useful for children who don't speak Dutch at home. There is freedom of education in the Netherlands. There is no state education. Parents can choose which school to send their children to. Some schools have waiting lists, which can make it more difficult to choose a school yourself. There are some schools in Holland providing education grounded in a particular religion, and there are some schools providing education not grounded in a religion. As a parent, the best thing to do is to go and visit several schools and to talk to other parents about the differences you come across. Education in Holland is klassikaal, which means the children sit in groups. They don't wear school uniforms. Sometimes they have to learn something by heart, but they have to discover a lot for themselves, learn to ask questions and work with others. Children are taught to take an active attitude. They learn to talk about their experiences and to form their own opinions.
Franka? Nou, mijn vader en moeder die hebben ook een bril. Ja. En als je ze die afzetten, dan zien ze er heel slaperig uit. Is dat bij jou ook zo?
Nee, vind ik niet.
De laatste. En dan gaan we
Children learn to work with computers at an early age. You need to know your way around a computer if you want to be a part of this society, and that goes for adults too. One thing that's a matter of life and death in a country situated below sea level: swimming lessons. Both children and adults still drown simply because they have never learned to swim. From the age of 12, children go to secondary school. The junior school will advise each child and his parents about the best choice. There is a choice between two types of education: beroepsonderwijs, or technical and vocational training, en algemeen vormend onderwijs, general non-vocational education. In beroepsonderwijs, children are prepared to work in a particular profession.